Probably you want to take it easy here this morning. A little fog hat coming in for you here. And we are giving you some fog as well. Not on purpose. We don't like this, but we've got rain out there. It's a very typical November, mid-November forecast for you. So take it easy, just like they're singing there for you this morning as you're heading out.
It is a soupy start, and it's kind of soupy weather out there. I feel like this is warm coffee, Chuck, as you get started today.
Well, this is going to be a day of firsts, actually, ladies. The first time that many of you will ever see a shoe house, which we're going to have at about 6:45. Chuck's Big Adventure, and the first time we've ever played Fog Hat on Sunrise this morning. So we've got a lot going on, and none of it is particularly really good in the weather. It could be worse, but we want to show you what it looks like outside right now. This is a view of downtown Indy, and our visibility has dropped considerably just since we went on the air at 4 o'clock this morning. Now, it's pretty much like this everywhere. This is a look live at Carmel this morning. In case you're wondering, that's near the Center for Performing Arts. That's the ice rink they're setting up, and for Carmel's Chris Kindle marked. And we're getting this mist. It's not really rain, it's mist. And it's all being produced by this deep area of low pressure. Now, ahead of the front, we had heavy rain last night. Some of you had some real gully washers. On the backside of this, then, this is going to bring in some more cloud cover, perhaps some scattered showers during the course of the day today. Now, visibility is really poor in some spots. Danville now at 0, 10 miles from Newcastle to Rushville. That's as good as it gets. But really, from Indy west and south, that's where we're seeing the really dense fog. 2-mile visibility at Greencastle, just about a quarter of a mile in Brazil. So really watch Interstate 70 west of the city this morning. Even on I-65, visibility now 3 miles in Lafayette, but about 15 minutes ago it was 0. So that shows you there's fog banks between Frankfort, and Lafayette. 52 in Carmel and Noblesville, 52 in Fishers and Rushville this morning. Indy's at 53, Bloomington's at 55, and 55 is the number because later today that's where we'll be for a high, with the chance of scattered mist showers and certainly fog this morning, and some spray on the roads this morning, Matt, and that could be a problem for us.
Yeah, the road spray is a really big issue, especially on 65 South. It's really an issue everywhere, but we had an accident there at the South Split. So I-65 South, and you want to hop onto I-70 West on the south side of Skyscrapers. We had an accident there first, and now I-65 South all the way through downtown. We've got multiple accidents. Here's one of the bigger ones. We've got 2 semi-tractor trailers involved in this accident. Traffic is at a crawl right now. This is at Washington Street. So you're looking north, all these headlights coming south kind of at you. This is the accident a little bit farther south. I want to show you kind of the original one that has caused a lot of these backups this morning. There on the curve as you go from I-65 South to I-70 West. The outside lane, that right-hand side lane is open. The inside lane remains closed. But folks having to really hit the brakes really hard there at that curve, and then we've have all these backups there on the east side of the Skyscraper. So we'll continue to monitor it. It's a big backup. We're now backing up way past Washington Street, almost all the way to where I-70 comes into 65 in this first place. So I-65 South, east side of downtown, big slowdowns. We'll have another update in about 10 minutes.
All right, Matt, yeah, kind of one of those mornings to take it easy out there. Well, this morning, a local man says he was attacked and nearly robbed by a man who was actually hired to be his caregiver.
Yeah, police say this incident happened back in August, but now that caregiver has been formally charged in court. Let's get to Sia, New Yorker, who is following this story and has the latest. Good morning, Sia.
Good morning, ladies. You can only imagine how heartbreaking this is for the victim, who says this man was supposed to take care of him because he can't take care of himself. Now, 61-year-old Leonard Royer is wheelchair bound and has required care ever since he had a stroke in 2019. He says in 2022, through a company, he hired someone that took advantage and physically harmed him, Dwayne Finklia. He told investigators Finklia never treated him well, even saying at one time the abuse was so bad he was hospitalized for neglect. But Royer tells 13 News things got worse when Finklia tried to rob him and his friends in his own home.
When we answered the door, he came in and looked around and stepped back out and then came in, pulled a gun on everybody, told everybody to get their hands up. And then I was in here in the living room and he walked over to me and smacked me in the face and told me he wanted money.
While Royer says he didn't get away with anything, he says Finklia somehow drained his bank account. After speaking with one of Royer's case managers in October, she explained how Finklia had taken advantage and abused Royer while working as his case manager. That's when Finklia was charged. Metro Police say Finklia has a history of taking advantage and stealing. Now, that former caregiver, Dwayne Finklia, is now facing armed robbery, intimidation, and battery charges. Coming up on Sunrise at 6:30, we want to talk about some of the resources if you or if someone you know is being taken advantage of. That's definitely something that we want to put out there for people to know about.
It's so important because it happens more often than people realize. Sia,
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, in just a few hours, a judge will sentence a former U.S. Marine after a deadly crash that killed a Fishers teacher and her husband. Court documents say that in 2022, Jamie Heredia Jr. was going 80 miles an hour the moment before hitting a car at 56 and Glen Road in Lawrence. Ashley and Grant Lansdale both died in that accident. She was a teacher at Fall Creek Elementary. He was found guilty on 2 counts of reckless homicide and could face up to 4 years for each count.
Well, 30 years after an Indianapolis murder went cold, a suspect in that case is now in the Marion County Jail. Dana Shepard is accused of raping and killing 19-year-old Carmen Van Huss. Police arrested him in Missouri in August, saying that new DNA evidence linked him to this case. Evidence say that someone killed Van Huss in her apartment on the city's north side back in 1993. The coroner had then determined Van Huss was stabbed more than 60 times. Well, Shepard is now expected to go on trial in her death in January. This morning, we are checking in to see if charges have been filed against a Ben Davis student allegedly caught with a gun. Court documents reveal investigators were tracking the teen's social media after he was arrested for dangerous gun possession. That teen allegedly posted more pictures of himself with a gun, and police searched his home while he wasn't there, finding a gun in his room. On Monday, police took that teen into the juvenile detention center.
Well, this morning, Hamilton Heights High School will have another e-learning day after losing its principal, Jared Mason. He died suddenly after a week-long stay in the hospital. The 48-year-old led Hamilton Heights for more than a decade. He grew up in Arcadia, and school leaders say he was the Huskies' biggest fan. Mason leaves behind a wife and 3 children, plus a legacy of learning and the love for the kids that impacted thousands of students.
He was so considerate and honest, and so he was an amazing guy.
They always knew he was going to be fair. They always knew he'd be firm, but they always knew that he'd love them no matter what.
Grief counselors will also be available in the school's media center if anyone needs to talk with them today. Well, the IPS board will vote next week on the appointment of Deandra Thompson. She's being appointed to fill a vacancy on its board of commissioners that was left empty by Kenneth Allen. Allen left that role to become the new Center Township Constable after Denise Hatch was charged with official misconduct and gun charges. He's served on that board since 2021.
This morning, the Coliseum at the State Fairgrounds has a new name.
It is now the Corteva Coliseum in partnership with Indianapolis-based Corteva Agroscience. So they're a global company focused on agriculture technology.
The State Fairgrounds is already teasing some exciting plans to come with this partnership, shaping the future of this iconic Coliseum. And hey, a major win for Westfield as Live Golf is bringing its tournament to the club at Chatham Hills in Hamilton County. This will be next year in August. Live Golf is a global league separate from the PGA. It has attracted some of the golf's biggest players with big contracts, including Phil Mickelson and Brian DeChambeau. The 54-hole event will decide Live Golf's individual champion for 2025. Grand Park brings many big sports events to Westfield, but this is an international sporting event.
This will be on steroids compared to a typical youth sports tournament. They're talking anywhere between $21 to $29 million in economic impacts to our community. That's restaurants, retail, hotels, sales tax for the city. It'll be huge.
So some golfers have been critical of the league and its rapid rise. It is fully funded by the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Saudi Arabia. Some have pointed to Saudi Arabia's being involved in human rights abuses and its ties to the September 11th attack.
6:09, the Pacers last night falling to the Magic in Orlando by only 4 points, 94-90.
Yeah, it just wasn't their night, but there were some bright spots. Pascal Siakam led Indiana with 25 points. Just behind him, Benedict Mathurin added 23 points. He scored 12 straight points late in the fourth quarter and had 12 rebounds. Tyrese Halliburton finished out the game with 9 points and 11 assists.
Tomorrow night, the Pacers are back at Gainbridge Fieldhouse and will play the Heat. Tip-off is at 7 p.m.
Oh, now to the Colts, where Anthony Richardson is reclaiming his spot as QB1.
Got to keep up with this one.
Yeah.
It's the latest development in that quarterback back and forth at Lucas Oil. The team benched AR, but what came next didn't spark much confidence in his replacement. Joe Flacco really kind of had a rough couple of games, resulting in a pair of losses. So Coach Steichen says that isn't what this was about. He says Richardson has made big strides and earned his spot back, but Richardson knows it's up to him to keep it.
I got to make sure I'm doing the right thing and keep showcasing to saying that I can be the guy and that I am the guy for this team. So it's not really up to him. I felt like the past couple of weeks was up to me as well. You know, I just got to showcase the work and just keep showing him that I'm willing to be the quarterback for this franchise.
So we'll see number 5 back on the field Sunday when the Colts face off against the Jets at 1 o'clock. Hi, Chuck.
Hi, Julia. Coming up on 6:11, and we're tracking rain from Connorsville to Greensburg, from Morse Reservoir to Noblesville in downtown. We've got fog and mist out there this morning. How long will it last? We'll let you know. Plus, the weekend outlook all coming up.
And this too, this week, Chuck, you've shown us chocolate making. We've been to museums and seen lots of historical sites. But at 6:45, Chuck is showing us the architectural masterpieces like you have never seen before in Pennsylvania.
And this morning, we're learning more about that plant explosion in Louisville, Kentucky that left 2 employees dead. We'll get you caught up on what investigators are saying happened coming up at 6:15.